Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, Bitcoin's price is currently in the process of a strong reversal, which has seen the digital asset quickly recover by 8.16% to trade slightly above 7,200 US dollars. On the 17th of December, the digital asset broke below $6,800 and swiftly commenced a tumble below 6,500 support, where it bounced off the lower support of the long-term descending channel. Many analysts cautioned that if bulls failed to buy the dip, a price drop below the $6,400 level increased the possibility of a revisit to 5,500 and 5,300 respectively. Fortunately for bulls, the price bounced off the critical trend line and the digital asset could now be en route to flipping the $7,300 resistance back to support. There's a little chart right there. And there's another little pretty chart with lines and numbers, and it says, is this a trend reversal? Obviously, this is making major news. Bitcoin dipped to around 6,400 and so dollars, depending on where you look and get your cryptocurrency prices, because nearly every single major cryptocurrency price exchange website place has a slightly different price. So the point to be made is that Bitcoin is back up, not exactly where it was before, but relatively close, which makes that entire drop that we had before completely nonsense. Because remember, the news that we had was that apparently the people from Chainalysis, it wasn't Consensus. The people from Chainalysis had announced that apparently there was money on the move by a bunch of scammers, and they were trying to get the money, and they sold off their Bitcoin, and therefore them selling off the Bitcoin caused the price to drop. And I said, no, that doesn't make any sense, because the last couple of weeks we kept on having news by major outlets who kept on repeating the same exact news over and over that Bitcoin was going to drop. I have my own feelings about that news. If you've been here for a while, I assume all of this is coordinated. Even right around here, for those of you not looking at the screen, I shall tell you what it says. It says crypto traders are taking a massive bet on Bitcoin from one of the biggest crypto whales on BitMEX. The trader, who goes by the name Joe007, wow, okay, has built a massive long on Bitcoin while prices were dropping. He added 4,000 Bitcoin to his position. And even further down here, it says he took some losses as the prices dipped, but he bought as the prices dipped, so the other money that he had before took a little hit. But where is it? It certainly appears there's a method to the madness that this guy has. So far this month, the trader has more than made $14 million in realized profits. So weird, right? That the price would dip down and everyone knew exactly when to buy. And the second that they bought, the price goes back up. It's almost like it's coordinated in a certain way. I don't know, Joe. Keep trading for your life. I mean, go for it. You're making tons of money. Have fun. But every single, I mentioned this before when we had the dip in price. I was like, the price is going to go back up. I was like, I give it like a day or two. I was like, I could see it going down a bit further, and then it's probably going to go back up, because we always have the same exact situation over and over. It's almost like it keeps repeating, but people just simply don't see it. We always have about a good 2 or 3 weeks. Here's how it goes. We have tons of good news about Bitcoin's price. And not about the integration, acceptance, all this other stuff. It's like Bitcoin's looking bullish. Bitcoin's looking bullish. Bullish? I'm bullish. You're bullish. We're bullish. Bitcoin's price goes up. Everyone's like, woo! And I'm like, okay, everybody, hold on. Because we saw this about 15 other times before. And what's going to end up happening is that as it goes up, people are going to be like, oh no, it's definitely overbought. Overbought, I'm thinking the same exact thing. Let's write the exact same article, but spell it differently. Get everyone really scared. Tell them for 3 weeks that the price is going to go down. And then what happens? The price ends up going down, and everyone's like, what's the reason? What's the cause? What happened? And I'm like, well, if you've been paying attention, it's just negativity within the cryptocurrency space. Oh, also, I don't know if you realized, I've realized, those people who were writing all those negative things on Twitter, talking about how Bitcoin's price was going to go down. Now, a lot of them are like, yeah, I can definitely see it going back up. Oh, that's really weird. I mean, not like this hasn't happened every single other time. So we are at the point right now where Bitcoin is going to go back up. No one is sure how much is going to go back up. I would assume we're going to try and hit 7,300. Just a guesstimate. Just a little. I assume as people wake up around the world, or rather the other parts of the world, and realize that Bitcoin has gone up, we're going to see a bit of a buy-in. And if we can pass by 7,300, this will push us up a lot further. Do I think this little chart right here is indicative of where Bitcoin is about to go right now? No. I think we have a couple more months for the whales are satisfied with having gobbled up as much Bitcoin as they could possibly want at the current moment. Whenever we get news, and whenever we get news that there is a person, who just purchased 4,000 Bitcoin, and people around the world are like, oh, maybe there's something to this. Remember, once again, I'll never forget this story, and I'll keep saying it until people really like it clicks in their head. Remember the news story that we had before? It was sometime last year, where as prices were going down, there was a guy in Dubai, who had purchased 30,000 Bitcoin and was like, yeah, I plan on purchasing a lot more. It's clear. It's crystal clear in front of all of our faces. The point being, you can be euphoric on this day as Bitcoin has gone back up. I assume it once again is going to go back up a little bit more. And then pay attention to next week. How the news is, what the tone of the news is. If Bitcoin is looking like it's going to go back down, and then once again, people will start to panic and things will go back. It's also coordinated. It's almost laughable at this point. As the rich become richer, and they buy up all the Bitcoin. Should I say it? I'll say it. Should I say it? No, I'll say it. It's fine. I read an article earlier. It had like multiple articles inside of it. It was like article inception. It was really weird. It was discussing where people now on Reddit and this place and Medium and so are talking about where Bitcoin is going to go over the next couple of years. And a lot of people, when they read these articles, they simply go, oh, that's nonsensical. That doesn't make any sense. And like I said, article inception, they were linking to other articles inside when they had mentioned before other times when other people were skeptical of where people were talking about the price of Bitcoin was going to go. And they found a really interesting article from, I think it was the New Yorker back in 2011, where it was long. It was a super long article where this person was talking about I think it was the first time that there had been a Bitcoin conference. I think Bitcoin had just hit $20 and everyone was like super euphoric at the meeting and stuff like that. And there were people discussing on stage. There were people discussing around the room. There were people discussing outside how they had done price metrics for Bitcoin and where Bitcoin was going to go over the next couple of years. And it was usually like a 5 to 7 year time frame. It was somewhere around this time. So relatively on point. And they were like, yeah, we at my company, we figured that Bitcoin is probably going to hit 10,000 within the next 5, 6, 7 years. And people were like, no, that's nonsensical. And the person was like, yeah, you know, all these pipe dreams that people are having. But then even then, there was an article from that article in the 2011 one that had linked to something else from the original article that I was talking about, where they showed articles from around, I think it was 2009, the beginning of 2010. And Bitcoin was worth around like 11 cents or something like that. And they were like, yeah, anyone who thinks that this is ever going to $1, I've got something to tell you. It was this, it was, they mentioned all these things. So whenever we get these, I think the entire point to be made is that this is clearly something. Bitcoin is clearly not nothing. That a double negative? I don't know. This is all so clear to many people within the cryptocurrency space exactly what's happening. The fact that Bitcoin is well known, widely accepted, and I don't mean to be able to like buy food and buy airline tickets. I mean the fact that this is all like, even the fact that we have major institutions who now have like futures this and options that and derivatives this and so. People are accumulating in mass, and it's very obvious to understand that people are probably going to manipulate markets any way that they can, especially when there's not illegal, as there is no insider trading currently within the cryptocurrency space. You better believe by the time all these people have all the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies that they want, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're now making insider trading rules and laws. Oh, that's funny that you didn't do that before when we had indications that people were buying up 35,000 Bitcoin at one time. The entire point being, this space is going to be massive. A lot of what we've been experiencing as far as the ups and downs, it's made people motion sick. And I have noticed this from new people in the cryptocurrency space, people who had entered around the end or middle of 2018 as Bitcoin was nearing anywhere between $6,000 to $3,000. That huge drop that we had. A lot of people don't really understand that these movements are completely normal. You can't really, where is it? You can't really see it on these charts as it's really zoomed out. We've had these moments for years. It's been just a complete whirlwind. It's been crazy, nonstop. All these things that look insignificant, all you see is the huge swoops up and all the money and the 20,000 and the yada, yada, yada. It's all been nonsense. It's all been crazy, nonstop. These are going to continue. I tell you this because while you may see moments of Bitcoin going up by 8% and the price doing very well and this and money, the price ends up going back down. People get really depressed. The price goes back up. People get very euphoric. This is going to continue to happen. I think, no, not even then. I was going to say I think the real moment is going to be sometime next year. Actually, kind of. Because this is all leading up to something very significant as far as like the accumulation and where all of this is going to go. What was the name of the article? I don't remember. It was like the new world elite, the new something elite, money world making elite. It was about pretty much that someone on a forum had said, I think in 2010, 2011, he had predicted that owning just 10 Bitcoin. Now, keeping in mind that Bitcoin was around, what was it, like $8 at this point, maybe even less. He predicted, he said, I think we're onto something. He said, I think even just owning 10 Bitcoin will make you part of the new world global elite. And people were like, dude, you're insane. Like, what are you're going to be a part of the world elite with $15 in your pocket? And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure that at one point the price is going to definitely probably go above a couple thousand. And people tore him apart the same way, whatever. People tore him apart in the comments below. They did everything they could to make him feel like an idiot. The best part about the internet for me is that we can always just go back and find this information. We can find when people said things, where they thought these things were going to go. And this is why a lot of times when we've had the predictions from 2011, 2012, and they've been fairly accurate, it gets a bit creepy because you're like, could Bitcoin one day hit 100,000? Could Bitcoin actually go to $1 million? Is Bitcoin going to be worth several $1 million? Is owning one Bitcoin going to make you part of the world global elite? I was going to say my answer, which if you watch the channel, you definitely know how I feel about that. But to reel it all back in, because I let the line out a bit too far, Bitcoin has shot back up, which means the sell-off, air quote, that we had because of scammers was completely nonsensical, like I said. And on that note, let us move on. Next up, crypto derivatives platform ErisX is now officially live with its physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts, launching only the second such product suite in the United States. The company announced in a market notice on Monday that its futures digital currency products would begin trading on Tuesday at 8 a.m. in the morning. The marketplace's daily trading hours run from 4 to around 10 p.m. Okay, whatever. I'm fine. In a pair of announcements shared exclusively with CoinDesk, the company elaborated on its new products, noting that they would be trading alongside the company's existing crypto spot exchange. ErisX is the only the second company to offer physically settled Bitcoin futures in the United States following the launch of Intercontinental Exchange's BAX futures contracts in September of this year. That was September. It feels like that was like a lifetime ago when they made their own. It feels like so much longer. Cash settled futures have been trading in the Bitcoin in the U.S. since 2017, when CME and CBOE launched their own products. Though CBOE discontinued its Bitcoin futures earlier this year. According to the product page posted on Monday, ErisX's Bitcoin futures will see a contract size of 0.1, okay, a tenth of a Bitcoin. With customers able to trade monthly or quarterly contracts at launch, traders will have a position limit of 200,000 contracts, my goodness, and a minimum price increment of $1 per Bitcoin or 10 cents per contract. Sure, why not? These are monthly, quarterly, and I think the one from Bakkt are daily and monthly, if I'm not mistaken. Sure. Good on them. I wish them the best of luck. We had news about RSX about a day or two ago. I can't remember exactly what it was. They were also in the news. I think they were launching Bitcoin derivatives. I can't remember what the thing was that they were doing. But let's see how this works. A lot of people hate the futures. A lot of people think the futures are a way to indicate where Bitcoin's price is going to go. I'm a bit in the middle. It's fairly clear at this point that it's not that futures necessarily have a negative effect on Bitcoin's price, so much as people being able to bet negatively on Bitcoin's price through the futures, and us being told, which is also a very annoying thing as well. I'm not sure if you've all realized that. Remember the entire thing that we had last year that we need an ETF in order for Bitcoin to move, that the market simply won't move without an ETF? The entire thing now is that the futures market dictates the price of Bitcoin, which it doesn't, which is nonsensical. It's that there are people behind the scenes who are making sure that they bet negatively against Bitcoin, and then has a negative influentially movement price thingy that is my English is kind of all over the place. The point is, RSX has launched their physically settled Bitcoin futures. Hip hip hooray to them. Here's the actual market notice right here. It says market notice, participants, money, there's names and numbers, and yeah, let's move on. Next up, supply chain fintech startup known as TradeShift, which boasts 2 million firms on its platform, says it slashed the cost of cross-border transactions between buyers and suppliers using, you guessed it, Ethereum. TradeShift Frontiers, the innovation division of the Goldman Sachs-backed unicorn, represents invoice values as tokenized IOUs between buyers and sellers, and then settles them in a novel form of on-chain fiat currency. Flow tokens, as the tokenized IOUs are called, has implications for banks and financial institutions that typically make money on cross-border payments. Oh, that's also another really big part if you didn't get that before. Banks make their money off of you, and also off of transactions that you make with your money when you're sending it back and forth. And I'm sure a lot of you have also had those situations where you're trying to take money out of an ATM, and it's like, give me $5. And you're like, I don't want to give you $5. Like, give me $5. I know you're hungry, and you're like, okay, I'll give you $5. They make a lot of money from this. They said it could do for supply chain management and trade finance what Libra has been attempting to do at a consumer level with wallets and Libra isn't out yet. Why are they talking about Libra? TradeShift, which partnered with consensus-backed e-money license holder Monerium, that sounds like a coin, Monerium, completed a domestic transaction earlier this year. This involved the retailer Nordic Store and IKEA Iceland, which were issued an e-invoice through TradeShift. A day later, the transaction was settled through a smart contract. The next phase of the piloting has been cross-border transactions involving euro-denominated e-money, smart contracts, and numbers. Oh, here we go. Here's the important part. TradeShift and Monerium settled 1,000 euros and then 512 euros at a fixed fee cost of around 17 and then 16 cents, respectively. The company said, for comparison, using automated clearing houses in the United States typically cost between 20 cents and $1.50 in a fixed fee, or 0.5% to 1.5% in fees, so they saved money using Ethereum. TradeShift says its preliminary research on the payment shows the fees vary wildly. To settle a cross-border transaction in the 1,000 euro range can cost between $0 or €0, when, for example, using SEPA, it can go, my gosh, it can go from $30 or more doing regional transfers between continents. The point being, I don't know if you are seeing it, this is another major company platform. What did it say? They have 2 million firms on their platform. Those numbers don't even make sense in my mind. And they're using Ethereum. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue using Ethereum. And once again, say it with me. You have no idea what I'm going to say. It appears that they're doing this because Ethereum's upgrade is going to be happening within the next couple of weeks. And if we get 3,000 transactions per second and lowered fees on the Ethereum blockchain, we're probably going to see an explosion of companies who are going to come out announcing that they are going to be using Ethereum as their platform, as their blockchain solution, especially if we end up getting to a point where we can get Ethereum's fees from 17 cents to like 3 cents or 1 cent, it's game over. There are already tons of companies who are dedicated to using Ethereum with these fees, who keep coming out talking about that they're definitely going to be using them for the next couple of years with these fees. And I mean, if nothing else, it helps me love the cryptocurrency space a lot more. Who in their mind thought it was okay? Imagine trying to send 1,000 euros to a family member who needs it to pay their rent, and they take out 30 euros for what? Why are you taking so much of my money? For why? This is why banks remain strong and powerful and rich, because they figured out how to make you pay for things that you wouldn't normally pay for. But if everyone does it at the exact same time, it just seems normal. Like, you get used to paying these incredibly high fees, and you get used to. I've seen some ATM machines that ask you to pay $5.99. I saw an ATM machine that said it's $7.99 to take out money from this machine. I kid you not. So once again, another major company using Ethereum. He looks very smug every time I look at his face. We are a couple of weeks away to see if they can upgrade properly. Still no word on a delay, which is causing me to trying not to get my hopes up. But here we are. I told you, I knew that the news of Ethereum would continue flowing because I'm sure that there are tons of companies using them. They may be just waiting for that moment where they could say, hey, we're also using them as well. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, one of America's oldest banks is eyeing blockchain in a bid to appeal to its clients. Boston-based State Street Corp announced on Tuesday that it's partnering with cryptocurrency exchange and custodian Gemini Trust on a new trial that examines reporting scenarios for digital assets. The trial will track a reporting process for two cryptocurrencies that are held for a user in Gemini's custody service. The unspecified... Oh, come on. The trial will track a reporting process for two cryptocurrencies that are held by a user in Gemini's custody. The unspecified assets, Bitcoin and Ethereum, were chosen for reasons of liquidity, Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Gemini doesn't have XRP. I think Gemini has like 4 coins. The unspecified assets were chosen for reasons of liquidity, according to a press release, but could be swapped for other digital assets, including tokenized securities. Claimed to be the first trial of its kind, the effort is ultimately aimed to allow investors to consolidate the reporting of digital assets stored at Gemini with traditional assets stored by State Street. They said with trillions of dollars in assets under management, State Street will never compromise on security, and neither will we. This was said by one of the Gemini twins. Traditional investors will more seamlessly be able to allocate capital in their portfolio to digital assets through trusted and regulated financial institutions, helping us to build a better bridge for the future of money. The word here was reporting scenarios for digital assets. We are getting to the situation right now where we have a number of companies who are blooming, launching, as they're trying to make sure when it's time to pay taxes that you have a place to go to. I don't know how to make that any clearer, and this is why it seems to be a collaboration between Gemini and State Street. I wonder what the symbiotic cord is. They're not doing this because they like each other. They're doing this because there's ways to make money. I wonder if State Street, speculation here. I wonder if State Street is also going to eventually either allow custody in cryptocurrencies, if they're going to custody any cryptocurrency that they may be using with Gemini, because you're also able to swap those two coins to cryptocurrencies for tokenized securities as well, which leads me to believe that State Street is maybe going to start tokenizing securities on their platform, and you'll be able to swap it between Gemini, who is going to be custodying them, which then leads to a situation where if you're paying taxes between the two platforms, you can simply just say, I'm using Gemini Trust / State Street, and therefore I can report my doings with them through one thing. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Int. So the Geminis have a new partner. It's State Street. They're not saying which two cryptocurrencies that they're going to have a reporting process for, but I'm going to say it. It's probably Tron and Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's Vision. I said it. They're the greatest coins out there. You all know it. You know how? Oh my gosh! I had a it's called a cold chill. Had goosebumps. Can you imagine if State Street announced we're only supporting two coins, and they were Tron and BSV? My entire world would be thrown for a loop. I would not know what to do with my life anymore. Anyway, continuing on, I really wouldn't. I think I would have to take like a week's rest. I would have to go to like a sauna or something like that just to get my life back together. Next up, Taiwanese phone manufacturer HTC confirmed earlier this week that it would axe jobs to remain competitive and better focus on a handful of high-end products, including the Exodus. Its blockchain phone. HTC, which has around 3,000 employees, has not disclosed the scale of layoffs of the departments that will be affected. That's sad, especially around Christmas. Come on, man. According to a report from Taiwan News, this will be the third round of job cut staff after the phone manufacturer has faced in the past 5 years. The company has let go 2,250 employees in 2015 and cut a further 1,500 jobs last summer. HTC says the downsize will allow it to retain an innovative edge for a selection of its products. This includes its virtual reality system known as Vive, never heard of it, as well as Exodus, its series of blockchain-powered smartphones, and they unveiled it in 2018, so on and so forth. We have seen the last 3 months, for some reason, an increase in the amount of layoffs within the blockchain cryptocurrency space. And usually the news that we have is that they are performing these layoffs to better focus on certain products that they're trying to get out there to the public. For those of you who remember, about a day or two ago, the people from Consensus had layoffs. The people from Circle were also doing layoffs as they were focusing, I think, on their stablecoin platform. And there were two other companies in the cryptocurrency spotlight space, Lisk. Who else? Don't remember. Having layoffs, but they all have the same answer, that we're doing it to better focus on one or two different types of projects. Oh, and that other company, weren't they also the longest running exchange in the UK? I think they also fired a couple people to be able to better focus just on Bitcoin. I think this is the news that we had. I have not. Have you heard a lot or at all about any type of a blockchain phone in the recent ever? I don't know anyone who has this. I don't know anyone who, I don't want to say that they're not interested. I'm still waiting on that $199 blockchain phone because we know that we're going to see it. The moment cryptocurrencies really take off and Bitcoin passes by 20,000, you'd better believe that these things are being worked on behind the scenes. It's just logical. Anyway, HTC is going to focus more on their blockchain phones after the blockchain phones were being made. I couldn't finish that sentence. And to finish things off, the crypto exchange known as CEX.io, I refuse to say that out loud because you know exactly what it sounds like, has added support for XRP, the third largest coin in the market after Bitcoin and Ether. In this way, US customers will be able to exchange XRP in a fast, easy way for fiat, yada, yada, yada. With this new cryptocurrency supported by the platform, US residents will have the chance to exchange XRP for USD, euros, British pounds, Bitcoins, what's wrong with me, and Tether. This is certainly important because the US is a massively large market that has an important influence on the industry. So if you are using CEX.io, you can now get XRP. While that may not sound fantastic, in 2017, for those of you who are veterans, the cryptocurrency space, you remember a time where we only had 3 crypto exchanges and they all only had Bitcoin and Ether. So for all of you newbies out there who complain that some exchange only has 400 coins, 2 years ago we had exchanges that only had 2 coins. Yeah, so XRP is now on about 38 different platforms and money. As always, A very special, it's very hot in this room. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Shoop Shoop Diddy Wop, Hummer Wang Dang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Quarter Staff, Ting Tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang, Semi Baucha, Bodie McBoatface, Yes to Crypto, The Sun's in My Eye, Miller Hitch Test that's better. Miller Hitch Test Every Day and Cal Skips Leg Day, Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mangialavori, Paxis, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Rich III, Nick Kanaya, Setsuna, Damien, Nicholas Red Earth, One Piece, One Love, Cryptopolis, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Strange Radio Central, Mechanic, Mill Weezy, Adobo, Bankroll Network, Crypto Joe, 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Triple M and J, Woody and Daisy, Brady and Niels, Master Ventures in Thailand, Mohair Maroney, Adam Graysick, Todd Mullis, Barebones Mining, A Bibliophobia, The Animal Reader, John Sarson, Mr. Pickles, and Professor Wally from The Gun, Abot, Ayuna, Aversity. Thank you all very, very much for your support at the moment. For those of you not looking at the screen, the markets are red and green. Nearly every coin is up in green, but their Satoshi prices are in the red. They are losing value against the Satoshi. Bitcoin is currently up by 7.72%, sitting at $7,165 US over the last 24 hours. It looks like we're also leveling off again. So this will probably change in the next 12 hours or so. And hopefully we have a steady price, if not a price that ends up going up. No real major winners except for anything that may be like completely 13% is okay. But nothing like up 195%. Kind of a lot to ask for, I guess. Yeah, nice to see the market in green. It had no reason to go to the red. However, we know how market makers work, and this is how you make money. You scare other people, you push the prices down, you buy it for yourself, the prices go back up, and therefore you've made $12 million. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.